this computer. Yay. Okay. So, really quickly, first, thank you very much. As I said before, we had, let's say, 23 families respond, which is fantastic. And I'm having a call on Sunday night. Tonight we have four groups that are on, myself and three others. And then there are people that I'll reach out to if the Sunday or Wednesday didn't work. But this is something that the zoo kind of tasked me with doing, mainly because they didn't want to sit in this space and feel like they were influencing the answers that you all were giving. They wanted for you to feel like you could speak openly. You could say, kind of how you were really feeling about, events that have been planned and events that, could be planned in the future. So I'm grateful that they kind of wanted our input. And it is about having a pride event at the zoo. So this is very informal. They're going to take the information, and not saying that any of this is going to absolutely get planned, but it is kind of trying to, frame their thoughts and, input. So the programs that they're going to offer and things that they're going to do in the future, obviously, I'll bring you all in to kind of update you on what they're thinking. But in the past, they've done, I believe this will be their third year of doing Pride events. And it's their first time ever since it started 2 or 3 years ago to actually have a Pride event at the Fresno Chaffee Zoo. So I really do believe it's a moment of progress because, when I had my kids are 22 and 19 now almost, and they didn't have anything like that. We rented the zoo with kids like us and had a sleepover night with about 10 LGBT families when our kids were probably 2 and 6 or 2 and 5. And so the reality is to know that there's actually a something planned by the zoo is a really big thing. So I'm trying to help, and I want it to continue to be a safe space for families and for the zoo as well. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to ask these kind of in a round robin fashion. And if I'd love to get each of you to answer, especially since there's only 3 people on here. And I'm going to answer too, just because I have been, going to the zoo forever and I feel like I'm a family as well. So I'll start and then, we'll just go round robin, whoever wants to go next. So the first question is, how often do you visit the zoo? And what is your favorite thing? And so my answer is that I go to the zoo probably 4 times a year. And I would say probably once a quarter because I take time between, I don't go, just all at one time. And mainly it's around good weather. In Fresno, that's the hard part, is finding a good day where it's not freezing and it's not blistering hot. So it's generally in the fall and the spring, but I also love going for their Christmas event where they have all the lights. And I also love going and being able to feed the giraffes and the interactive things that you can do there. So that would be my favorite element. But how often I go is probably 4 times a year. So who wants to go next?
I'll go. So, Madison's now 16, and I think she got burnt out on the zoo because we used to go all the time. We had annual passes for a number of years, and so she doesn't love going but once a year. But my girlfriend and I and her Madison's grandma and Madison have gone. Last year we went 3 times. And so definitely would be interested in attending a Pride event there. And I don't know if they're going to have vendors, but if so, I know our LGBTQ plus real estate alliance would probably be more willing and able to participate in that.
Fantastic. All right, great. Perfect.
I can go. So my daughters are 5 and 8, and so we go a couple times a year, and I think it's to kind of keep the excitement still there. If we went too much, I don't think they would enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
And we do like the trick or treat like thing that they put on, as well as the zoo lights. I think their favorite area, I would say, is the Animal Kingdom with the giraffe feeding and the safari. I know they're excited to go see the baby elephants and the baby lions, so we'll be going soon, especially because the weather's so nice right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Perfect. Amy, did you say what your favorite thing was?
Definitely the giraffe feeding.
Oh.
That was probably Oliver's. That's a very unique and cool experience.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the people that are employed there are always so nice and friendly and accommodating. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Mhm.
All right, Candace, you're up.
Okay. Wow. Of course, as soon as I go to talk, my mind goes blank. Why does that always work like that?
No worries. So the question was, how often do you visit the zoo and what favorite thing?
Okay. How often? When I have currently, I do not have the pass, but when I have the pass, I have a 9-year-old, a 2-year-old, and we're a polyamorous family. So our partners also have some teenagers, some little kids. Their partners also have some kids. So we always make it like a huge event to go, and we always go for the Halloween and the Christmas
I love it.
thing. Yeah, and then during the summertime, I'm a homeschool mom, and I make it part of our PE routine to walk the entire zoo because when I map it out, it's about 4 miles.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
How
me,
often do you guys go with that program?
with that, we try to make it once a month at least because
Oh,
we
wow.
also go to like Woodward Park and stuff like that. And of course, our favorite thing is always feeding the stingrays. I don't know what it is with the stingrays. The little kids go nuts for it.
I love it. That's cool. Awesome. Okay, so Amy, you answered this question about, or maybe it might have been you, Candace. Are you a member? Did you say you used to be
Uh,
a member?
Yeah, I currently don't have a membership. I am going to be repurchasing it soon.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
I'm the same
with
way.
the bad weather, we haven't
I
gone.
forget. Yeah, I've been a member and then I forget and then, it gets lost in my email and I forget. So yeah.
Mhm.
I should put it up on automatic renewal if they have that, and then I don't have to worry about it. But what about you, Amanda and Amy?
We had an annual pass for years, but no longer, probably in the last like 3 or 4 years have we had an annual pass.
Perfect. Okay.
We had an annual pass 2 years ago, and then we haven't had one. We just purchased the tickets when we're gonna go.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. And then the next question is how would you like, well, first off, um, have you attended any of the past Pride events? Let's answer that question first.
I have not.
Okay. Amanda?
I've done some of the Kids Like Us events, like
Okay,
we've
but
gone group, but not their
not
Pride.
the zoo one.
Mhm.
Okay, and then Candace?
I went to their very first one, and then I was next to their booth at the Pride Parade at Fresno City College for the last couple years. They always set me up next to them.
Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. And then the next question would be, how would you like Pride to be celebrated for your family at the zoo? So what would be your answer to how would you like Pride to be celebrated? And whoever wants to go first.
Are you talking about activity ideas, things like
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. I can go. I think for like something, and I'm coming the lens of like what my kids would enjoy the most. So let me preface with that. But I think they would love like a drag queen story time and interactive storytelling sessions. They would totally dig that. And I think they would love like focusing on LGBTQIA plus animal tours. So like animals and the diversity in the animal kingdom, maybe focusing on animals that do have those same-sex relationships, like penguins, things like that, seahorses, and drawing some of those parallels. And then my kids also are huge into art. And so I think they would love like any type of inclusive like art station that's family centered. And maybe it would be on display or something like that. Maybe like I always think of like the community quilts where you put everyone's art together. And then for any animals that it's possible, like meet and greets. They would love that. And they'd probably dig a parade too. I mean, quite honestly.
Yeah, that would, yeah, cool idea to do a parade through the zoo a little. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, Amy or Candace?
Those are phenomenal ideas. I mean, those sound great to me. I was just gonna say like a petting zoo might be great for the younger kids, and I like the idea of a parade. Maybe a face painter because kids love that stuff, and so do adults even.
Yep.
So that's my ideas, my tiny ideas.
Perfect. No, I love it. Those are big too. Candace?
Yeah, I absolutely love the story time idea and like the art setup and all of that. I'm digging those ideas. I don't know if you are like a preschool teacher or in any kind of field close to that. I absolutely dig it. The only thing I might add is maybe if we had like a photo station where families could take their pictures together and then they get posted up, because I know with us, it seems like the polyam community, we know everybody here in the valley, but the kids don't really see a lot of families like theirs. They don't see the two moms, the two dads, the one dad and two moms, the one mom and two dads, like
Yeah,
because I know in our group, it kind of, a lot of people are like, wait, you have mom and mom by proxy? What does that mean?
yeah, yeah,
Or like a mom adjacent, like, and they're like, what does that mean? And so then it kind of turns into a whole learning opportunity for
yeah.
other kids that not every family looks the same, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's why I started Kids Like Us, the same kind of thing, like where they'd meet people that they could, learn that all families are not the same. Yeah, that's cool. Okay,
Um,
go, Amanda.
to answer your question, Candace, I've worked in education the last 14 years, mostly in the early ed realm. And now I work for Fresno County Superintendent. So yeah, teacher ideas over here, definitely.
See, Amy, she's got an advantage on us.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful ideas. I was
So,
just going to say, I know a couple of real estate photographers that do a little bit of portraits. If we need any, I could see if they would like to volunteer if that was something that came to fruition.
yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah. And so I would say, you know, I love all the ideas that were mentioned, but one of the things that I love about going to the zoo is like you go to the bird show, and all the community sitting there together of whoever's at the zoo that day. But I would love it if we had one, like there was a dedicated time, just like there might be a dedicated time for, drag queen storytelling, but also a dedicated time that, we're going to go over for whoever is interested in the bird show, that we're doing it together, and taking part in things that are uniquely the zoo, but also in a community with people that, hopefully the MC for that, program might talk about, Amanda, like you're talking about, something that might have to do with same sex and, what the elements of same sex elements are within the animal community that they could make a part of that, bird show. And even talking about, what it means for a lifelong relationship, some animals mate for life. So all of that, I just think it would be interesting. Okay, so let me go to the next one. How would you like Pride to be celebrated? Amanda, go.
Um, Something else which I don't know. I love attending a good drag show. My wife loves drag shows, but it would be really cool if there could be a collaboration. And I'm just spitballing. So a collaboration between the zoo and the birds of the bird show. And if drag queens were interested, they have a corresponding outfit that goes with the bird that's being featured, and then like that
Oh,
could be like a lawn moment for everyone, but
yes.
a little more fun.
Yeah, yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. I like that. So tying in the drag performances to the zoo element.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Okay, so at other Pride celebrations, what do you find most meaningful? So, like when you go to Fresno Pride, or if you've gone to another Pride somewhere else, or Illuminate Pride, what are the celebration moments that are most meaningful to you?
I think for me, probably just all the camaraderie.
Mhm.
I've done the Pride Fest the last like 3 years with our Real Estate Alliance, and a lot of people don't know that we're advocates for, home buyers, and we want everyone to be treated equally and that sort of thing. I just love, like when I take my daughter to the Pride events, I love for her to see that there's other kids with gay parents and things like that as well.
Yeah.
I would definitely say like the visibility factor. I think sometimes, depending on like the event, they'll have like a pride wall or something where people sign and put positive messages centered around like love and acceptance and inclusivity, especially in today's current political climate. I think that could be powerful. And then obviously they love a good parade, and I think that that's fun too. And just with all the props for the kiddos, because it makes it in music. But again, we're at the zoo, so I don't know how loud we can be.
Yeah.
But
Great answers. Candace.
I try to attend most of the like the Pride things here in Fresno. I've gone to the San Francisco one a couple of times. Honestly, it is just seeing community and seeing, all the different walks of life. Like you see kids, teens, adults, older adults, and my favorite is seeing like the old timers, the
Yeah.
people who have been together forever, but like they have some stories.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. Like I love it. Like they're like, oh yeah, no, for the longest time we just had to tell our families we were roommates. And
The
now it's recently
pioneers.
come
Yeah, sorry.
exactly. And I love it so much. And so that's one of the things I very much enjoy about going and seeing the different things, is seeing the different walks of life.
Yeah, I love that too. That's cool. So for
And
me, I would go, Amanda, go.
no, I was just gonna say the other thing is like supporting small business too, like vendor markets.
Yeah.
I love when, and I don't know if it's possible, but getting an author to come in that has a book that is about inclusive family structures or something like that, and having those books for sale for kids, I think is powerful too.
Yeah. Or even the penguin, like finding authors that have written books about animals. If we're going to talk about the zoo, maybe having a meet the author and having some of those books available might be a cool idea.
Yep.
And so I would say that the vendor fair, I, love Pride and, obviously all that element, but I also love walking around the festival and, just seeing the people selling things and learning about, businesses in the community or organizations in the community that I may not know, or how to get involved if I do find an interest. So those are things that I really enjoyed. I think having that vendor fair, even at the zoo, having multiple touch points for the community is a really smart idea. Okay, so then this one is more thinking about what might be lacking or, what would make it more meaningful. And so what do you believe would make local Pride events more meaningful, or what seems to be missing that you have seen in other Pride locations before that you would add, to the things that may not have been mentioned tonight?
I would just say, to get the word out, we need to, our groups should come together more and, with permission, of course, share uh, emails and phone numbers, perhaps, to strengthen the numbers of people who get invited and know about it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, I think you especially do a fantastic job getting the word out and that sort of thing. But there are some things that I never hear about until a day or two before, and I'm like, shoot, you know what I mean? I wish I knew about that 2 weeks ahead of time or something,
Yeah.
where I could put it on my calendar and plan to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know everybody, so I'm sure that if there's probably LGBT, I know there's LGBT families in the community that don't even know that we're
Sure.
on this, call.
Right.
So I hate that too, that it's not more widespread in reference to, how we disperse information. That's something we've tried to fix, and it's not easy, sadly.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda and Candace. Anything that you can think of?
I would just kind of echo what Amy's saying. And then from there too, I think, and this might just be me and having young kids and feeling a lot with political climate currently and just people coming out of the woodworks, I would say like whatever we can do to make sure families feel safe, that would probably be important too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I echo that 100%. I know a lot of our preteens, especially right now, we're having to communicate with them. We have a couple of our young ones who are trans and they are having a very hard time in school. So trying to find that community and let them know it's going to be okay. Like us and all the rest of the parents and the other adults, we will fight for them. And we are going to make sure that they're seen, but it's really hard for them, especially when they're at school and there's no representation there
Yeah.
for them, somebody safe that they can talk to, and then they come home and they don't believe us. They're like, you guys are adults, you guys already found your community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And so something like that I think would be great if we could find. I know we do have some safe places, but I think they're all pretty localized here in Fresno. Like they're sort of downtown, and so it's harder
Mm.
for, families who live on the other side to get over there, especially if it is something like our preteens and teens who don't really want to talk to us about it because they don't want us going overboard. And I know I kind of get mama bear and I go straight to the school and I'm like, hey, why aren't you guys doing anything about this bullying? Like
Mhm.
I homeschool, but some of our other kids, they want to be in public school. And
Right.
so there's no saving them there. They kind of want to deal with it, but they need that protection. It's hard.
But you offered that made me think of an idea, like what if they had age group meetups at the Pride event? So like something that might, like at Pride in downtown, in the Tower District, or even Illuminate Pride, it's harder because it's like an open space. Whereas if it was at the zoo and you said, we're going to have a teen meetup at, the wherever, the Lions area or the Cheetah area. And for kids or, teens this age to this age, feel free to meet up during this time. And then the parents could say, hey, look, there's a teen meetup happening. I'm thinking about when I go to gay days at Disney, sometimes they'll have a teen meetup and then they also have a toddler meetup. And then parents that have toddlers, the kids are playing over in the little, ball area or the fun, a bounce area while the parents are talking about, what's going on and they're sharing ideas, their little kids are playing together. So they might, we could say, early kid meetup at that little water, feature that they have at the zoo, and teen meetup at this area. And then parents feel like they have a safe space to let their kids kind of be free if they're in that age group. But also it creates the dynamic that you're talking about where they have an avenue to meet up with kids their age without their parents just being right on top of them. So that might be something to suggest.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
the last question is, when would such a pride celebration be most convenient? So, I'll let you guys kind of see, obviously it's been in June, but is there a feeling that you have about when it would be better to have this event?
I would say personally, something in spring where it's not so hot. Maybe April, May, something like that. But I can see where, we'd like to tie it in with Pride and whatnot. But it'd be great to have something at the zoo that's not there, because there's always so many activities during Pride itself.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have something totally, in April, or somewhere where you can count on it not hopefully raining and stuff like that. So fall, or early fall, or mid to late spring.
Mhm.
I echo that. I was thinking like when it's not so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my body and my medical history, I don't tolerate heat well, so like I can only stand outside so long.
Yeah.
And so with I think having it outside of June says a lot too, because I kind of feel like, and this is me being part of the community, everyone does something in June. Well, now people are backing out of June, but people do things in June because it's Pride Month. It would be neat to see something outside of June for the
Mhm.
community, like, and where it doesn't feel like they're doing it just because it's Pride Month. It kind of makes a statement. So I think that's pretty powerful to do it outside of June.
Agreed. Candace?
Yeah, echoing the same thing because see, June, I know a lot of people give like the big stores flack for, oh, you only sell Pride merch during June and then it gets yanked off the shelves and stuffed in a back room kind of thing.
Mhm.
Doing something outside of Pride Month, or even if it becomes like maybe two things during the year, one thing that does tie into Pride Month, and then another one that's outside, like how you were saying earlier, like the kid meetups and stuff like that. If we could do that a couple times a year,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be beautiful. It's not just, oh, hey, we're single serving friends for this 1 month. I'll see you again next June. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that maybe if it partnered up, kids like us, that like this Sunday, this Sunday they're doing that Aero space where they go into the bounce house, for kids all ages. And if Kids Like Us kind of partnered up with the zoo to say, hey, we're going to have every, quarter, we're going to have a Kids Like Us meetup at the zoo, and the zoo kind of partnered with them, that might be something that would get like a LGBT organizing arm, maybe even with LGBT Fresno and Kids Like Us, anybody that's doing youth organizing, and try to do it together on a certain day that built up towards whatever the Pride event might be. For me, I've thought about October because good weather. And also it's National Coming Out Day, and October is sometimes seen as a Pride month as well because of that. So, you could do some kind of branding around, it's National Coming Out Day, come out to the zoo, or, something like that. And then that way, even remember with me when they were doing Pride events, where it was a couple of nights, during June, my kids were like, I don't want to go to a thing 3 times in June, not because they didn't support it, but you just get evented out. And that's what I feel like our June has been like. Every week there's something going on, and, people who have kids, they got a lot of stuff going on anyway with all the kid things that are happening. So I think it might be smarter to do it at another time of year. And, if they're going to do it in April or May, I think even right now we're running up on, you want to be able to advertise it well enough in advance. But you also run the risk of weather or whatever, because it's starting to get hot. Even next week it's going to be 86. So I feel like maybe October might be a smart move. It can still be hot during October, but I think that it is the overwhelming idea that I hear from all of us is that June is probably not the best time to do it in.
So in 2025, October 11th, National Coming Out Day actually falls on Saturday.
Oh, it
Which,
does.
yes, and I was gonna say, don't do it the first weekend in June, because I always do a pumpkin patch that weekend, and it's always still so hot. And usually the second weekend of June is perfect. Or sorry, October. October is perfect. But yeah, for 2025, the 11th falls on
Saturday.
a Saturday, which would be really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the other thing too is for teachers, like for me in education, typically June are big travel months, June and July. And so
Yes.
that's another layer too. Like
Yeah.
we were gone most of June last year.
Yeah. Good points. Okay. Any last comments, thoughts, feelings that you want to share before we end?
Just please let the zoo know. Thank you for reaching out to the community to get some ideas and perspective, and whether they take it or not, it's just nice to be heard. And I know you're going to share the recording. So yeah.
Yay.
Here's
Good.
Jack.
I'd say I love what the zoo is doing with this, and I think it's a wonderful idea. With this in mind and them hosting, more Pride events and whatnot, I definitely do an annual pass for my girlfriend and my daughter. And I would also purchase like annual passes to give to our real estate alliance for raffle prizes as well. I think that's important, kind of spread the word
Right.
that, hey, the zoo's, in
Yeah.
tune with us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to support them by doing that. That's a very smart idea. Yeah. Gift a membership, because they're
Right.
supporting us, gift a membership. Yeah.
Mhm.
Great idea. Candace, anything?
Honestly, this was just this was a great opportunity. It was by chance, one of my friends tagged me in your post online, and so I was like, I hope I'm not too late.
No, I'm so
And
glad. Yeah.
got today. Yeah, no,
Yay.
this is amazing.
And did you get the email that I sent that had some events that are coming up?
I did get that email, but any text messages, like I got one text message like a couple weeks ago, but it was
Right.
kind of like most of the links wouldn't let me click on them.
Okay, got it. Okay, okay. So I'll make sure that I'll send that out again. And then, but I'm going to make sure that all of you are on the email for the Kids Like Us stuff that we do. And then that way you can make sure that because also, I don't know if you know this, but because you talked about having older kids as well, at the Big Red Church, which is the First Congregational Church that's down near the Tower, Fresno High area, Community Link, which is an LGBTQ organization, they have a youth meetup that happens every Friday night. I think it's 7 or 7:30. And the reason they do it there is because families that are not accepting of their queer kid don't know what is happening. They're just dropping them off at the church. But it's led by someone who has been trained by Community Link, and they have the most amazing youth group on Friday night. So it's a safe place to drop them off. They watch movies like Milk, and they talk about, ask questions. It gives them the space to meet other young people. So it's a really safe environment. It's run by this woman named Rachel Wilson, who was a youth group member and under Jeff Robinson. And when he passed, her nickname's Banana. Banana took it over. And it's just a great opportunity if you're looking for somewhere for them to go, if they wanted to go explore a place they can meet teens and they're safe. So
Great.
yeah. Okay, cool. So very nice to see all of you. Thank you so much for saying yes. And if there's anything that I can help with or any ideas that you have, or if you just want to join Sunday night to see who comes on, know that you're welcome to come back in and kind of listen to the discussion.
Okay. Thank you
right.
so much for putting things like this on. It's so important.
You're
And
so welcome.
you are absolutely wonderful and awesome. So
Thank you. Ditto. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thanks.
Nice to meet you, Amy and Candace.
good to meet you too as well.
All right. Nice to meet you, Candace.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.